सो हमने पिछले कक्षा में क्या क्या डिस्कशन किया था से मध्वाचार्य के बारे में, तो कुछ जल्दी से उसका स्नैप देख लेते हैं क्या क्या हमने देखा था इन द प्रीवियस क्लास. Previous class, we seen that how even though staying near Udupi, Madhvacharya is like banging the Advaita philosophy and all that different philosophy. And he had just taken sannyas. He's just somewhere around, I know, kitna 15 or 16 years old, and just like a young lad, just like prodigy. He is going everywhere around the Udupi, and he is defeating all different types of vadas. So we discussed the different vadas, I mean different theses in Sanatana Dharma. There are 6 types of theistic philosophies and there are some atheistic philosophies. So most of us, we are aware of it, right? What are the theistic philosophies? What are the atheistic philosophies? So there are 6 theistic philosophy that I was hinting. So one is Vedanta theistic philosophy. So Shankaracharya also gives, his purport upon this, or cannot be told to purport, but his bhashya, that's called Sharirak Bhashya. So then there is second is called Patanjali Yoga. Yoga Vaisistya, Patanjali Yoga system, in which Patanjali proceeds ahead to speak that yoga is the ultimate goal to achieve. Even he accepts devotion to Supreme God also to be subservient of yoga. Third is called Jaimini's Mimamsa. Fourth is Gautama's Nyaya. Fifth is Kapila's Sankhya philosophy of Kapil Muni, that everything is created by 24 elements. And Canada's वैशेषिका थ्योरी. तो ये वैशेषिका थ्योरी एटॉमिक थ्योरी जैसा है. जैसे मेटीरियली साइंटिस्ट लोग क्या बोलते हैं, मेटीरियल साइंटिस्ट बोलते हैं कि सब कुछ मैटर से आया है, देयर इज नो इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ स्पिरिट सोल. सो दिस इज वैशेषिका थ्योरी बाय कनाड. तो हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि ये सारे फिलॉसफी पहले से ही मौजूद हैं. सो these are 6 theistic philosophies, जिसमें अल्टीमेटली they have the conception that there is supreme power or supreme God or supreme element, supreme tattva as such. और कुछ नास्तिक फिलॉसफीज भी हैं. जैसे नास्तिक फिलॉसफी में अगर बोला जाए तो बुद्धिस्ट फिलॉसफी, वेद न मानिया बोध होइलो नास्तिक. देन देयर इज अनदर पर्सन, इज नेम इज चरवाक. चरवाक बोलता है क्या, beg, borrow and steal, get a lot of ghee and enjoy the life. तो पहले के ज़माने में जो अथिस्ट होते थे वो भी घी खाते थे. घी पीने पे विश्वास रखते थे कि घी अगर किसी के घर पे है मीन्स दैट इज एंजॉयमेंट. लेकिन आजकल के लोगों के पास घी भी नहीं है. व्हाट इज देयर लाइफ? सो ऋणम कृत्वा घृतम पिबेत जावत जीवेत सुखम जीवेत भस्मीभूतस्य देहस्य कुतः पुनर् आगमन भवेत. तो ऋण करो और घी पियो, ऋण करो और घी पियो. तो ऐसे कुछ लोग अभी मौजूद है. बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं, बोलते हैं अरे यार जीने के हैं 4 दिन, बाकी बेकार दिन, जाए जवानी फिर से ना आए, बस पूरा मजा करो, फंटूस बिंदास, खाओ पियो, ऐस करो. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो फिलॉसफी, है ना. आजकल लोग इसको ऐसे ही फॉलो करते हैं. So this was also a darshan. This is also philosophy before come to like philosophy. So this is Charvak philosophy. So as there are so many different hodgepodge philosophies also. बहुत सारे ऐसे hodgepodge philosophy भी मौजूद है जिनका कोई पता ठिकाना नहीं है, but it's still there in the market. So ऐसे नास्तिक philosophy, तो सभी तरीके की philosophy का मध्वाचार्य छलनी कर रहे थे, हर जगह जा रहे थे. So when around everything was clear, I mean around Udupi, everybody understood that Madhvacharya is the great soul, the incarnation of Vayu appeared to establish Sanatana Dharma. So now, as we discussed previously, that Madhvacharya thinks that now I should go out. घर पे अंधकार का शमन हो गया है, तो अब मुझे बाहर जाना चाहिए। सो ही टेल्स टू हिज स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर, अपने गुरुदेव को बोलते हैं मध्वाचार्य कि गुरुदेव, आई लाइक टू गो आउट, यू नो। सो हिज गुरुदेव अच्युत प्रेक्षा, he tells, you want to go out? Yes, of course you should go, but I also want to come with you. No, he tells that I also want to come with you, मैं भी आपके साथ आना चाहता हूँ। तो अच्युत प्रेक्षा and Madhvacharya both starts for preaching outreach. As we know, in International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Srila Prabhupada followers, they roam around everywhere preaching the holy name. A similar kind of preaching outreach, not similar kind of, but more austere preaching outreach were started by Achyut Preksha and his disciple, the glorious Madhvacharya. तो दोनों गुरु और शिष्य, गुरु चेला निकलते हैं कहाँ? भ्रमण में, होल साउथ इंडिया भ्रमण में। तो एक जगह पे जाते हैं जिसका नाम है विष्णु मंगल। विष्णु मंगल एक छोटा पहाड़ भी है वहाँ पे, 40 किलोमीटर दूर है मैंगलोर से। तो वहाँ पे प्रचार होता है, प्रसार करते हैं, लेक्चर दिया जाता है, और लेक्चर से प्रभावित होकर मध्वाचार्य के बहुत सारे लोग आते हैं, बहुत सारे भेंट वेट देते हैं, बहुत सारा खाना पीने को देते हैं। और एक गृहस्थ भक्त वो 200 केलों को ऑफर करता है मध्वाचार्य को, 200 बनानास, 200 केले। और 200 केलों को ऑफर करने के बाद वो निकलते हैं वहाँ से, तो फिर से लौट के आते हैं तो पूरे के पूरे 200 केले पूरे खत्म हो गए होते हैं। मीन्स मध्वाचार्य eats up in just one meal 200 बनानास। और एक बनाना का साइज कितना होता है, कैसा होता है पता है? लंबाई 1.5 फीट की, और उसका विड्थ होता है 10 इंच का। 10 इंच का चौड़ा कितना होगा? 10 इंच, इतना हो सकता है 10 इंच, एंड 1.5 फीट लंबा। इट्स लाइक वन बनाना, एंड लाइक सच 200 bananas Madhvacharya gulps up. Everybody is like shocked. My God, who is this person? Could eat so much? People were like shocked. They came and they asked that, how did you manage this to eat 200 bananas? 200 बनाना कैसे खाए? तो उनको बताना पड़ा, because they do not know. Like 200 banana also, to stock somewhere you require some space, right? And it's like small little space. Tummy of Madhvacharya is not like a very big gigantic balloon. It goes and it vanishes. So Madhvacharya बोलते हैं कि actually my Jatharagni is not ordinary Jatharagni as all of us you have, but I have the Jatharagni which is actually burns at the time of dissolution. Time of dissolution में जो Jatharagni जो अग्नि है वो सबको राख कर देती है. So being incarnation of Vayu, he could do that. So Sripad Madhvacharya eats up all that bananas. So then he proceeds ahead toward Kerala. In Kerala, very famous temple, the temple of Anant Padmanabh Swami. Very, very famous temple. Maybe some of you could also have gone. Anant Padmanabh temple, where Lord is sleeping, taking rest, and Lakshmi Devi is massaging the feet of the Lord. So this whole, it is told that ये पूरा का पूरा जो पद्मनाभ स्वामी का जो विग्रह है वो 18,000 शालिग्राम शिलाओं के ज्वाइंट करके बनाया हुआ है. एंड वहाँ पे श्रीपाद मध्वाचार्य गिव्स very big thesis from Brahma Sutra. He gives lectures on Dvaita philosophy, and he points out, he delineates out the whole Dvaita philosophy there in Anant Padmanabh temple. And there Kerala was of course then filled with so many different brahmanas, smart brahmanas, and all have assembled there to hear from Madhvacharya. और द्वैत सिद्धांत के 5 पॉइंट को वहाँ पे वो स्थापित करते हैं. बहुत समझना है, बहुत जरूरी है, इसको हम लोग समझ सकते हैं. व्हाट इज दिस? पहला चीज है, ही मेक्स द ट्रायो ऑफ 3 थिंग्स. पहला है क्या? जीवा, देन प्रकृति एंड गॉड. तो ये 3 चीज है, जीवा, गॉड एंड प्रकृति, है ना. सो ही टेल्स द पॉइंट दैट जीवा इज सेपरेट फ्रॉम गॉड. जीवा मतलब हम लोग जीव हैं. वी आर ऑल लिविंग एंटिटीज. वी आर सेपरेट फ्रॉम गॉड. We are never, there is a time when we are going to become one. The difference between the living entity and Supreme Lord is always there. And he quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, 10th canto 87th chapter 30th sloka. There it is told that if we had been God, then how we are being controlled? We do not have independence. Everywhere we are controlled. We cannot go the place as soon as we think of. We cannot eat whatever we like. We cannot just get whatever we wish to get. So if we are God, then how we are like being controlled? We can never be controlled if we are God. Aparimita dhruvastanubhito yadi sarvagatas tarhi na sasyateti niyamo dhruvena netaratha. So this is the sloka he quotes from 10th canto. So this is Jiva, then God. There is difference between Jiva and God. Jiva and God is two. So इसलिए मध्वाचार्य के जितने भी जो पिक्चर्स होते हैं, फोटोज होते हैं, उसमें आप देखेंगे मध्वाचार्य सिटिंग लाइक दिस एंड showing like this too. Though everything is not one. Jiva and Supreme God are two personalities separate, yeah, and they have the relationship of master and a servant. The second thing it tells, दूसरा चीज जो बताते हैं कि difference between Supreme Lord and matter. Difference between Supreme Lord and matters. Prakriti. Supreme Lord and the matter is always different. Supreme Lord is controller of the matter. It's not like Supreme Lord and matter is the same thing, same element. It's not like that. So Supreme Lord is the controller of the matter or the Prakriti. Then third thing he points out, difference between individual soul and individual soul. कुछ फिलोसफर्स, हॉजपॉज फिलोसफर्स कभी आप सुने होंगे, मैं पहले सुना करता था, जो मैं हूं वो तुम हो, जो तुम हो वो मैं हूं, और जो वो है वो है. सो देयर इज नो डिफरेंस, एवरीथिंग इज वन. बट नो, it seems to be like very much powerful concept, right? वो एवरीथिंग इज, जो मैं हूं वो तुम हो, तो तुम हो वो मैं हूं. लेकिन जब एक चीज के, जब कोई कंपटीशन बढ़ जाता है एक चीज के लिए, तो सभी एक दूसरे में फाइट करने लगते हैं, है कि नहीं? सो इंडिविजुअल सोल इज इंडिविजुअल सोल सेपरेटली, ऑलवेज इटर्नली एग्जिस्टिंग एज इंडिविजुअल. अजो नित्यम शाश्वतो अयम पुराणो, लॉर्ड श्री कृष्ण टेल्स इन भगवद गीता. अजो नित्यम शाश्वतो, हम लोग शाश्वत हैं, हम पुराण भी. वी आर इटर्नली इंडिविजुअल सोल. जब हम खाना खाते हैं, so when we take some food, then we understand that we are getting satisfied. हम खाना खाते हैं तो दूसरा व्यक्ति satisfied नहीं होता है. His hunger we cannot satisfy by eating our own self. So jivas are different. The fourth difference उन्होंने बताया कि material nature, the matter, and the living entity are different. Both are not one. क्योंकि when one comes out from material tabernacle, जब इस मैटर से लिबरेशन मिलता है, then matter doesn't go with the soul. जो आत्मा है उसके साथ मैटर नहीं चपकी हुई जाती है. Even when one leaves the body, when the soul leaves the body, matter is just there. It doesn't accompany the soul. तो material nature और living entity दोनों अलग है. ये चौथा पॉइंट बताते हैं. और पांचवा पॉइंट बताते हैं, different between material nature, different objects of material nature. मतलब like somebody says this kartal and this water is same. That's not like that. Both are having different nature. Kartal makes the sound like this, and water when it comes together it sounds another way, है कि नहीं? एक कच्चा wood है, या फिर the tree which is there in the forest, which is another nature. But the same tree when it is dried, then it is of another nature, and it can catch fire. So in this way, Madhvacharya very nicely presents his dualistic philosophy, Dvaitavad, and everybody becomes very much like alarmed, specifically Mayavadis, Advaitavadis. So then he proceeds ahead from Kerala to Annamalai Hills. So Annamalai Hills में के पास में एक रिवर है जो कि अन्नामलाई हिल्स के पैरेलल चलती है, and there he sits and he meditates upon his mission, what he's going to do in the future. And a considerable amount of time he stays there, वहाँ पे रहते हैं. और एक जगह पे पूरी की पूरी जो अन्नामलाई हिल्स है, उसके बेड, उसके उसके फुट पे, उसके नीचे में जो नदी है वो पत्थर के नीचे बहती है. सो मध्वाचार्य सिट्स देयर and there he meditates upon the mission. And later on, devotees, they had, and the people of that local community, they have made a temple also there. So he proceeds ahead from there. He comes near Sringeri. Now Sringeri is the place. Sringeri एक जगह है साउथ इंडिया में जहाँ पे शंकराचार्य जी का, I mean, there is a capital of Shankaracharya, Sringeri Mutt. So that is the headquarter in one sense, we can say. So there a lot of, I mean, people are there of having this conception that everything is one. That's called Mayavad. So when Madhvacharya passes near Sringeri, so वहाँ के सभी लोगों को पता चल जाता है the great Madhva is coming with so many followers, and then that Sringeri Math is being led by one, I mean, one Maharaj, and one say his name is Vidyashankar. I mean, he was the leader then, Vidyashankar. So Vidyashankar challenges Madhvacharya, and Vidyashankar, when he challenges, like after a few hours of talk, he is perfectly defeated. Vidyashankar is perfectly defeated. He is simply a young man, Madhvacharya. Vidyashankar is quite so much old. Vidyasankar fully defeated. Now he proceeds ahead, Madhvacharya ahead. He goes to Rameshwaram. रामेश्वर में वहां पे जाके, जैसे इधर से रामेश्वर में जा रहे हैं, and Vidyasankar also proceeds toward Rameshwaram. So both of them are going to, I mean, the same place, but with a different route. They are reaching Rameshwaram, and because in rainy season, people they usually do not go everywhere. So in rainy season, it is a custom in Sanatana Dharma that people they sit at one place and do their prescribed duties, because har jagah, everywhere there is rain. So how they could go? So in Chaturmasya, that's called rainy season. 4 month जो होता है, 4 मास है ना rainy season के. So in this 4 month, this Vidyasankar and Madhvacharya, both are there actually staying in Rameshwaram. But they do not know that both of them have come at the same place. So when they are coming out to take bath, where? Near where the Ram Setu has been actually made. So some few years before we had been there. तो वहाँ पे राम सेतु, वहाँ पे जहाँ पे बनाया गया था, बहुत ही अच्छा जगह है, देखने में बहुत ही मनोरम है. सो मध्वाचार्य हैज गॉन टू टेक बाथ देयर, और देख रहे हैं कि विद्याशंकर भी वहाँ पे आ गए. सो एज सुन एज Madhvacharya sees Vidyasankar, because he incarnated to defeat Mayavad, immediately he pounced upon Vidyasankar again. And he challenges that you have been defeated again, you are come again here. For what purpose? And he tells that if you defeat me once again here, then you are able to see this danda of mine, I will break it. और डंडा तोड़ दूंगा तुम अगर तुम फिर से मुझे डिफीट करके दिखाओ तो. I mean, he had never been defeated, but he is still to establish that Supreme God is Supreme God and Jiva is a Jiva. And there is a relationship between Supreme God and Jiva, that is servant, the relationship of servant. So he proceeds ahead to challenge him in front of everyone. So सब लोग के सामने challenge करना मतलब क्या? One cannot avoid it, right? Because he is also leader of some sect and he cannot avoid. So Vidyasankar takes up the challenge. And he starts preparing very nicely for this challenge. He goes ahead to different brahmanas and he tells that, please bless me, please bless me, please bless me so that I could make this fellow's danda break into pieces. So then there was a place chosen जहाँ पे वाद विवाद होने वाला है. And there both of them comes and there starts the great debate. And Vidyasankar and party becomes defeated like anything. Vidyasankar party started like fleeing off, and some people, they starts getting annoyed so much they couldn't accept their defeat. And they had been actually influential for so many considerable amount of years. They are not able to uh, accept the defeat. तो इस स्थिति में विद्याशंकर के पार्टीज क्या करते हैं, बहुत ही परेशानी क्रिएट करना चालू कर देते हैं मध्वाचार्य के लिए। दे टेल्स, वो जाके सभी शॉपकीपर्स को बोल देते हैं कि ये हम मध्वाचार्य है ना, इनको आप ये कुछ ग्रॉसरी मत देना, कुछ राइस वाइस मत देना, आई मीन डू नॉट सप्लाई देम एनीथिंग। बट दे वर सो मच इनेमोर्ड बाय मध्वाचार्य's ब्यूटी एंड हिज सो स्वीट वर्ड्स। इतना मधुर वो बोलते थे, द so wonderful his bodily features were, so charming to see. Said nobody could actually, and took this party of this Vidyashankar. And Brahmanas also told that how could we go against Madhvacharya? But still they started creating so many problems, but still Madhvacharya tolerated that. So from there, 4 months of Chaturmasya, Madhvacharya again started out for preaching. At एक जगह पे जाते हैं, एक विलेज में, वहाँ पे देखते हैं कि there is a सूखा, वहाँ पे पानी नहीं है. There is like for people are suffering out of water, there is no water. So and people they are approaching to Madhvacharya, बोलते हैं कि अब पानी नहीं है, कुछ कीजिए आप. So Madhvacharya immediately takes up his danda and it just stuck into the ground. And as soon as it strikes the ground, immediately water starts coming out like natural fountain, and everybody gets the water. Everybody starts telling, Jai Madhvacharya ki, Jai Madhvacharya ki, Jai Madhvacharya ki, Jai. So like this, Madhvacharya is roaming everywhere now. Slowly is coming towards Srirangam, which is a seat of Vaishnavism. So how many of you have been to Srirangam? It's a very beautiful city called Srirangam, and hopefully in of course Tamil Nadu. So जहाँ पे श्री संप्रदाय का क्या है कैपिटल, जैसे मध्व गौरीय संप्रदाय का कैपिटल क्या है, सीधा मायापुर, उसी तरीके से श्री संप्रदाय का कैपिटल है क्या, श्रीरंगम. श्रीरंगम इज द कैपिटल ऑफ श्री संप्रदाय. तो मध्वाचार्य वहाँ पे जाते हैं, वहाँ पे भगवान का दर्शन करते हैं. दर्शन करने के बाद वहाँ के जितने भी भक्त होते हैं, वैष्णव होते हैं, वैष्णव से वो बातें करते हैं. इट्स लाइक वेरी फ्रेंडली रिलेशनशिप, very friendly relationships. He sees the deities of the Lord for considerable amount of time, and from there he proceeds ahead. He proceeds toward Chandragiri. There is another place. So Chandragiri में वहाँ पे there are so many brahmanas of Chandragiri city. They approaches Madhvacharya, and Madhvacharya had now followers increasing and increasing like this. Wherever he goes, his number of followers swelling like anything. And they're seeing this powerful appearance of Madhvacharya. Brahmanas of Chandragiri were so much envious. और उनको देख के चंद्रगिरी के सभी ब्राह्मण लोग आते हैं, बोलते हैं कि यस, हमें लग रहा है कि आपने बहुत काफ़ी नाम कमा लिया है. लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता है कि आप हमारे सामने टिक पाएंगे. So these Panditas, again, they have the same misconception of impersonalist Mayavad. So they challenge Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya को बोलते हैं कि आप ऐत्रेय उपनिषद के ऊपर एक्सप्लेनेशन करके बताओ. मध्वाचार्य का ऐत्रेय उपनिषद बचपन से ही फेवरेट रहा है, और वो बोल रहे हैं कि हम ऐत्रेय उपनिषद से बताओ. Then Madhvacharya immediately starts speaking ऐत्रेय उपनिषद like anything, like आंधी तूफान. आंधी तूफान तो स्वयं है वो. आंधी तूफान की तरफ से वो तरह से वो ऐत्रेय उपनिषद बोले जा रहे हैं, उसको परपट दिए जा रहे हैं. And some of them Brahmanas, they started miscommenting the slokas, and immediately Madhvacharya holds them and just slams them, and this is not the way you should comment upon this. Actually the meaning of this would be something else. So इस तरीके से these Brahmanas were being defeated. Then they comes, okay, that's okay, now let's go to Rig Veda. So they tells that now you describe Rig Veda. So at one place they have described very wrongly, and there Madhvacharya corrects them and tells them that you people do not have even simple grammar knowledge. You should go and start your hathe kadi. You should start your Vidyaramb. You do not have a simple grammar language. So like this, whole 63 villages around Chandragiri, they comes and they all surrenders to Madhvacharya. Means before it was a system, अगर आप किसी से हार गए हैं शास्त्र में, मतलब जिससे आप हारे हैं उनके आप शिष्य बन जाएंगे. There is no other way. We are just disciple of that person. So wherever Madhvacharya is going, people were getting defeated into their understanding of Vedic knowledge, and they were surrendering to Madhvacharya. So 7 साल संन्यास हो जाने के बाद अब मध्वाचार्य सोच रहे हैं कि नाउ आई शुड प्रोसीड टुवर्ड बद्रिकाश्रम. सो इट टेल्स टू हिज स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर अच्युत प्रेक्षा, जो मैं बद्रिकाश्रम जाना चाहता हूँ, बद्रिकाश्रम जाना चाहता हूँ, वहाँ पे व्यास देव से मिलना चाहता हूँ. तो बद्रिकाश्रम इज अ प्लेस इन हिमालयस, हिमालयन माउंटेन में है. इन ईयर समवेयर इन 2015 वी हैड द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू गो देयर in Badrinath in month of August with his great Shankar Nitai Prabhu and other senior Vaishnavas. So it's very, very far off. It took practically somewhere around 24 hours, even more, going with bus from Rishikesh to Badrinath. Oh, moving so far, like two high hills and very dreadful hills. ऊपर से देखने से नीचे इतना भय लगता था कि somebody falls down, चटनी बन जाएगा पूरा. Like it is somewhere 10,200 फीट ऊंचा है सी लेवल से बद्रीनाथ. So now Madhvacharya is going from Udupi to Badrinath. Can you imagine? And how he is going to go? He is going by foot. And some of his disciples, they also went with him. And one of the very famous disciple of Madhvacharya, his name was Satyatirtha. Satyatirtha. He was very, very attached to Madhvacharya. So he also went with him, Madhvacharya. So months and months, practically a year, it took for him to go. So he approaches Badrinath, and it was like so severe cold there. He goes all the way from Banaras, Bihar, and these all places. And while going, he doesn't disturb the Mayavad sannyasis of Banaras, because his mission was to meet with Ved Vyas. So if somebody is going for a higher mission, the lower things could be neglected or could be avoided, so that higher mission could be achieved. So that's what Madhvacharya is showing here. So he's going from Benaras, going through Benaras, but he's not going and disturbing the Mayavadis of Benaras. As we see later on, after some 300 years later, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Benaras and converted all Benaras Mayavadi sannyasis into Vaishnavas. So Madhvacharya at last reaches where? In Badrinath. So Badrinath is very wonderful deities of Badri Vishal, and there also is Nar Narayan Rishi, Bhagwan Sri Krishna and Arjun. There is another incarnation of Krishna and Arjun as Nar and Narayan. Arjun comes as Nar and Lord Sri Krishna comes as Narayan, and they are still there in Badrikashram. So this is their dham, eternal dham. As we know, Vrindavan is eternal dham for Krishna, Navdeep is eternal dham for Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Similarly, Nar Narayan and Badri Vishal is having their eternal dham in Badrinath. So Madhvacharya reaches Badrinath, and there he converses with Nar Narayan, he talks. But other of his disciples, they are not able to see them. I mean, they are not able to see Nar Narayan, but he is able to see and he is able to talk. So वहाँ पे जाके मध्वाचार्य बोलते हैं कि हे नर नारायण ऋषि, मैं एक गीता के ऊपर भाष्य लिखा हूँ. मैं अपनी बेस्ट एबिलिटी से जो कुछ भी लिख पाया हूँ मैं आपको सुनाना चाहता हूँ फॉर योर प्लेजर. काइंडली लिसन टू इट. And Madhvacharya recites whole Gita bhashya, the commentary upon Bhagavad Gita. and then the sound comes from the DT side. People are able to hear the sound, but they are not able to hear the personality. But Madhvacharya is able to see Narnaranishi and he is able to converse. Like in other disciples, they were able to just hear the sound. Supreme Lord tells that Madhva, you are telling that you have written by your best ability, but this is not your best ability. You could write whole, I mean, Gita Bhashya, but you have written just little bit. You would have told that I have just wrote till some extent. Now, you are wrong there. So everybody was able to hear this divine sound coming. So 48 दिन तक, for 48 days in that place, it is so cold. Like in summer season, we went for 3 days. हमने 3 दिन का like वहाँ पे tour बनाया था. And like 3 days, like we thought like we'll go because it's summer season, we can stay 3 days. लेकिन एक दिन में ही हालत खराब हो गई सब के, एक दिन में ही. Personally, it's my experience. I went there and I had to take bath with the water, glacier cold water dripping down from top, and it was like unimaginable. So much cold there. Practically whole guest house, all the blankets were in front, yeah, above me, but still I was feeling cold. But by the mercy of the Lord, there is a very special geyser, natural geyser. Agni Dev personally resides in Badrinath. Agni Dev personally resides in Badrinath and always keep giving the very hot water. वहाँ पे जस्ट अलकनंदा नदी के किनारे एक हॉट वाटर का गीजर है, नेचुरल गीजर है. So always filled with hot water. Anybody can go and take bath with hot water, natural hot water. So Agni Dev resides in that kunda. That's called Tapta Kunda. So there, that in that place, Madhvacharya stays for 48 days. तो हमारी 3 दिन की जो टूर थी वो 2 दिन में परिवर्तित हो गई. हमने बोला कि 3 दिन तक रुक नहीं पाएंगे, तो 2 दिन में ही एवरीबडी सब पैक करके हम लोग फिर से बैक टू ऋषिकेश आ गए, टुवर्ड द मैदान, टुवर्ड द गंगेटिक प्लेन. 48 days staying there. It was like so severe cold, and Madhvacharya was not taking bath with Tapta Kund water. वहां पे वो अलकनंदा की जो ठंडी पानी है उसमें प्रत्येक दिन सुबह में सूर्योदय से पहले स्नान किया करते थे. Hardly he used to take anything, and simply he used to recite Gita Bhashya, and in this way he was contemplating and he was praying to Vyasdev to enter into his place, because till now he has not yet met with Vyasdev. तो व्यासदेव से अनुमति ले रहे हैं वहां पे बैठ के कि व्यासदेव प्लीज लेट मी कम टू योर प्लेस. सो आफ्टर 48 days, 48 दिन की एकदम सीवियर तपस्या करने के बाद एक रात एक बहुत ही पावरफुल ज्योति उनके सामने प्रकाशित होती है. एंड he tells that I mean, Jyoti is for whom? I mean, for the disciples, those who say, those who saw. But Madhvacharya was able to see actually Vedvyas, and Vedvyas told that you need to come to Uttar Badri. So there are 5 types of Badri places there. Badrinath, that Tirtha actually expanded himself to 5 places. So one is called Uttar Badri, where Vyasdev personally he stays there. He is still there. Vyasdev अभी भी वहाँ पे हैं उत्तर बद्री में. तो then he starts moving even more up and up and up. तो जहाँ पे ह्यूमनली एक्सेसिबल बद्रीनाथ है वहाँ से वो और भी ऊपर हिमालय की तरफ बढ़ने लगते हैं, और अपने सभी डिसाइपल्स को बोलते हैं कि आप लोगों को जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज इट्स टू मच कोल्ड नाउ ओनली, और ऊपर में जाएंगे तो पता नहीं क्या होगा. बट his main disciple, the lead disciple, Satyatirtha tells that yes, but I will go. Oh, my spiritual master, please let me go with you. So Satyatirtha proceeds ahead and it goes and goes. So Madhvacharya is Vayu himself. He could go. He's not feeling, he's not affected by cold. But Satyatirtha का हालत बहुत खराब हो रहा है. It's 0 degree, negative degree is going, and Madhvacharya is going up, and Satyatirtha is not going back. Even though Madhvacharya has told that you should go back, go with your god brothers. but Satyatirtha is going up. But Madhvacharya is able to understand that he is so attached with me, he is not leaving me alone. At one place, Satyatirtha is about to fall down. He's like fully exasperated. He's about to, like, so much cold. He's not able to withstand that so much chilly cold there. Like, so just he was about to fall down. So very heavy gush of air, gush of wind comes and it blows Satyatirtha from there to Badri Vishal. So, and right in front of all of his god brothers. I mean, his Vayu himself, Madhvacharya, so he protects his servant, his disciple. So then again, Madhvacharya proceeds ahead and he reaches Uttar Badri. And when he reaches Uttar Badri, there he sees that even though it's upon so high altitude, but the atmosphere is perfectly perfect. I mean, fully like air conditioned, है ना, जैसे बाहर में ठंडी अंदर में गर्मी कर लेते हैं हम लोग रूम में बंद करके. So that place is perfectly, I mean, normal. It's like Udupi only. Udupi matlab always there is a hot season there. So Vyasdev is sitting just beneath a very big banyan tree. That banyan tree is none other than Anantadev. Vyasdev is of course incarnation of Lord Narayana. And all the great sages are sitting around. There is a very wonderful lake and there are wonderful flowers has blossomed so nicely, and there are hansas. So nice atmosphere, and there is no chilly cold as such as it was there before. And there he proceeds ahead. Madhvacharya pays obeisances, and all the great rishis, they see that who is this personality having this all the powerful bodily features of this 32 features of great personality. So they were thinking that nobody could come here unless one is a great personality, either Narayan or some very much empowered person. So he proceeds ahead, paying obeisance to all rishis. He proceeds ahead toward Vyasdev, and Vyasdev is sitting just below this big banyan tree on the Mrigchhal. And there he pays obeisances to Vyasdev, and there they discuss. And after meeting Madhvacharya, Vyasdev is so happy, and he rises up from his seat and embraces Madhvacharya. And Madhvacharya becomes like very much humbled, having this embrace by Vyasdev, and pays obeisances back again. And Vyasdev tells that I am so very happy that you are establishing the real essence of Sanatana Dharma in Bharatvarsha. And there they sit and they discuss about Vedanta Sutra, what should be given in Vedanta Sutra and all those stuffs. And after a few days of staying there, Madhvacharya again comes back to Badri Vishal. So there he comes, and immediately he gets so many copies of Vedanta Sutra Bhashya. Vedanta Sutra Bhashya and Madhvacharya's Bhashya. And one of that Bhashya, he immediately tells to one of his disciples that please go immediately to Udupi. Give it to my spiritual master, Achyut Preksha. Unko aap dekhe aiye. And he immediately leaves that place. And then rest of the devotees, along with Madhvacharya, they starts moving toward Gangetic plain, toward, Bharatvarsha, the mainland. And Vedanta Sutra, what he actually have written in the company of Vyasdev, all that 21 different types of commentaries which were written after Vyasdev has written Srimad Bhagavatam. All different types of deviant types of philosophies. So he has defeated every one of them in Vedanta Sutra written by Madhvacharya. And in 21 types of different types of commentaries, one is of Sankaracharya also, that's called Sarirak Bhashya. So इस तरीके से वो आते हैं सभी लोगों के साथ, बिहार, यूपी बिहार होते हुए बंगाल भी आते हैं. बंगाल में कहाँ भी आते हैं? नवदीप मायापुर धाम भी आते हैं, राइट. सो मध्वाचार्य क्रॉसेस टुवर्ड नवदीप, एंड नवदीप क्रॉस करते हुए ये भविष्य पुराण में ये वर्णित है कि शांतिपुर में उन्हें श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु का दर्शन होता है. Like you will be now amazed to understand that how could this happen. Like Mahaprabhu is going to come after 400 years of Madhvacharya, right? So Madhvacharya appeared somewhere in 1200 and Mahaprabhu is going to come in 1500, means some 300 years later. तो महापुरुष से अभी कैसे मिले? तो महापुरुष ऑलवेज स्टेइंग इन नवदीप, राइट? यद्यपिया नित्य लीला करे गौरे राय, कोनो कोने भाग्यवान देखे बारे पाए. So Mahaprabhu is still there and he still was there before also, but some rare souls could see. Ramanujacharya saw, Madhvacharya saw, Nimbarkacharya saw, Vishnu Swami, everybody saw except Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya was not let in Navadip rather, otherwise he would also have seen. So Madhvacharya came and he had darshan of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he have darshan, then Madhvacharya asked the question that, oh Lord, what is this such a horrible situation of Bharatvarsha? Bharatvarsh की ऐसी स्थिति क्यों है कि सुप्रीम लॉर्ड श्री कृष्ण को छोड़ के सभी लोग न जाने किस किस की पूजा कर रहे हैं. And people are mad. People are, many of them are worshipping different demigods and all different types of bhoot, pishach, and all those things. But they are not worshipping Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. तो श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु बोलते हैं कि yes, actually everybody should worship Sri Krishna as is mentioned in Vedas, but because people they are actually fully have gone mad out of sense gratification. They have taken up this type of things, and just to just to satisfy their taste buds, they are killing so many animals, and just on the on the name of different sacrifices, they are killing butchering different animals and they're eating that. So, but actually this is not mentioned in the Shastra that in Kali Yuga this animal sacrifice should be done. So he quotes all the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him, quoting all different Shastras, that how in Kali Yuga this animal sacrifices are perfectly banned. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells that, do not worry, I'm also going to come after 300 years and I will accept your disciplic succession. I will come and I'll join your disciplic succession and I will preach Achinta Bheda Bheda Tattva and the ultimate Sanatan Dharma, the summum bonum of Sanatan Dharma, that's called Sri Harinam Sankirtan. So kindly proceed ahead, whatever you are doing very nice, please proceed ahead, keep it up this spirit. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually told this all, everything, Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva, but Madhvacharya didn't specifically mention anything as such Achintya Bheda Bhed, but he actually expounded the exact theme what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described him. So he pays obeisances to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, proceeds ahead toward Odisha, going all the way through Gangetic path, and then he crosses, he reaches to Bay of Bengal, and from there he goes to alongside of ocean shore, he goes to Jagannath Puri. में जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया का दर्शन करते हैं. उसके बाद कुर्म क्षेत्र जाते हैं. कुर्म क्षेत्र में कुर्म डीटी है, वहाँ सिम्हाचलम जाते हैं. सिम्हाचलम जहाँ पे ये हिरण्यकश्यपु ने प्रहलाद को फेंका था, समुद्र में फेंक दिया था. So in this he proceeds ahead, and everywhere, wherever he goes, he actually expounds this Dvaita philosophy very nicely. And then at last he reaches to Udupi, at his hometown and the capital of Madhvacharya. So in Udupi also there are so many wonderful pastimes, but I don't know how much time we have. It's already going to be 9 o'clock. So I just want to ask, Prabhu, so can we proceed ahead or we just conclude it? Because Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So devotees are requested, kindly show yourself up, because number of videos are very less. Okay. So I'll just wind up. Okay. So in Jagannath, when he comes ahead, there is another Pandit he meets with. His name is Sovan Pandit. Sovan. So Pandit Sovan, and this Pandit Sovan is like Bengali name Sovan, but he is very much very much surrendered to Madhvacharya, Sovan Pandit, and he accepts Madhvacharya as his spiritual master, and later on he only turns into Narhari Tirtha, and he actually he wanted to join the mission of Madhvacharya, but he tells that no, you must be at your home. You have a very special mission to perform. There is one deity, my very very dear deity, Mool Ram deity, that you have to actually uh, find out once again. So Mool Ram deity is a very special deity which is there in Udupi. So मूल राम डिटी जो डिटी है वो इक्ष्वाकु, जो कि जो सूर्य वंश है ना, इक्ष्वाकु के द्वारा वर्शिप की गई थी। तो सूर्य देव ने उस विग्रह का वर्शिप किया था। भगवान श्री रामचंद्र का विग्रह है मूल राम विग्रह। तो भगवान श्री जो सूर्यदेव है उन्होंने किसको दिया? मनु को दिया, मनु ने इक्ष्वाकु को दिया। इस तरीके से सूर्य वंश से ये होते हुए थे भगवान श्री रामचंद्र के पास भी ये पहुंचा। भगवान श्री रामचंद्र हैड हिज ओन डीटी दैट वाज एक्चुअली गिवन बाय दशरथ, and then Lakshman worshipped that deity. Then another Brahmana, he was very dear devotee of Lord Sri Ramchandra, he worshipped, and all the way it came to Hanuman ji. जब लक्ष्मण जी चले गए तो उस डिटी को लक्ष्मण ने हनुमान को दे दिया, और हनुमान जी gave that same deity to Bhimsen in Dwapar Yug, because Bhim and Hanuman met at one place. You know that story of हनुमान जी जा रहे हैं द्रौपदी के लिए फूल लाने के लिए गंधमादन माउंटेन में, तो वहाँ पे हनुमान जी से मिलते हैं। तो सेम डीटी वाज गिवन बाय हनुमान टू भीमसेन। हनुमान एंड भीमसेन इज सेम पर्सन इज हियर इन कलयुगा मध्वाचार्य। तो मध्वाचार्य को याद आ रही है कि डीटी हनुमान जी से मिला था, यहाँ पे कहीं पे लॉस्ट हो गया, यहीं पे कहीं है भारतवर्ष में, मुझे उसे फिर से प्राप्त करनी है। तो भीमसेन के बाद पांडवों के पास रहा वो डीटीज। पांडवों की जो डिनेस्टी है, कुछ डिनेस्टी तक कलयुग में कुछ जितने भी राजा थे उनके पास रहा। उसके बाद जब पांडवों की डिनेस्टी विलुप्त हो गई तो उन्होंने उड़ीसा के राजा को दे दिया। उड़ीसा के राजा जिन्हें गजपति कहा जाता है, तो उड़ीसा के जो राजा हैं अभी भी मौजूद हैं, सेम डिनेस्टी चली आ रही है। तो उड़ीसा के राजा के पास वो मूल राम विग्रह था। तो they were knowing that मूल राम विग्रह is in Jagannathpuri with the king of Odisha, Gajapati Maharaj. So this Sovan Pandit later on who became Narhari Tirtha, तो इनको ये मिशन दिया था कि मूल राम विग्रह को आप किसी तरीके से लेके आइए। एंड he went to Jagannathpuri, and that time by the arrangement of Supreme Lord, the Gajapati, the king of Odisha, died very early. और उसका जो हायर था, मतलब उनके जो पुत्र थे वो बहुत ही छोटे थे, नवजात शिशु थे। तो नवजात शिशु होने के कारण उनको राजा के गद्दी पे बैठाया नहीं जा सकता था। तो उड़ीसा में ऐसा सिस्टम था कि अगर कोई राजा नहीं है, राजा के पद पे बैठने वाला कोई नहीं है, या फिर एबल पर्सन नहीं मिल रहा है अभी, the person who is not qualified or he cannot take it to the responsibilities immediately, तो वहाँ पे कस्टम है कि हाथी को छोड़ा जाता था जगन्नाथ के द्वारा एम्पावर्ड करके, और वो हाथी अगर सुबह सुबह उठ के किसी के सर पे अगर अपना सूंड लगा दे, मतलब वो राजा बन जाएगा। तो हाथी अगर किसी के सुबह सुबह उठ के उस किसी के सर के ऊपर अपना सूंड डाल दिया, मतलब कि ही विल बी द किंग। सो Narhari Tirtha, this Sovan Pandit was there around, and by the arrangement of Jagannath Swami, what happened, that elephant came and put his sound in front on the head of Sovan Pandit, and Sovan Pandit became king. So Sovan Pandit became king. It was so easy to execute the mission of Madhvacharya, that to get the Mool Ram Vigrah which was there with Gajapati Maharaj, the king of Odisha, and he remained king for some few years. And after that, when Gajapati Maharaj's son became like quite young, so then he given all the responsibility to him, and he came back, taking the Mool Ram Vigrah to Udupi. So this is the way Madhvacharya, is so very dear servant of Lord Sri Narayana. And after that he meets again with another great episode of meeting with Rukmini Krishna, I mean the Krishna which was worshipped by Rukmini Devi. So that's also very long story, and I'll just quickly tell this story at the last as a last story, then we'll stop the class today. So Sri Madhvacharya is there in Udupi, and Udupi is just near the ocean, and many times Madhvacharya used to go and take bath in ocean. And whenever he used to go, so many disciples will go together to take bath in ocean. Like so many people are going in the ocean. And so sometimes Madhvacharya used to go alone in the like night 2 o'clock to take bath, because दिन में तो बहुत लोगों के साथ जाते थे. So for going like alone, I have some separate prayer. So he used to go. One night he went quite very early, और वहाँ पे वो देखे कि एक जहाज है वो फंस गया है कहीं पे, कोरल रीफ के साथ फंस गया है. And there was a very heavy tufan, and in this way somehow is like lost. This vessel was lost. So Madhvacharya understood that there is some indication from Supreme Lord. So Madhvacharya तो वायुदेव स्वयं है, तो अपना ऊपर का जो बहिर्वास है उसको उठा के he just blows like this. He just do like this, something like that. So immediately what happens, that ship immediately starts coming toward Madhvacharya and stops nearby. And then they all are shocked with all these the ship people. Those were actually they were coming from Dwarka, getting some goods to sell somewhere. So they were thinking that because of this Maharaj we got saved. So they came immediately, the paid obeisances. They told that, who are you? Please tell what you want. Please tell. We want to give some dakshina to you. So in this way they were started appeasing Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya told that, I don't know what's there with you. Please let me know what you people are carrying. So Madhvacharya जाते हैं, देखते हैं कि गोपी चंदन है, गोपी चंदन, the thing what we apply in our forehead. So they were getting from Dwarka, and he goes ahead and he says that, please give me this gopi chandan. So gopi chandan was so heavy that 50 people could not lift it. 50 people, 50 लोग भी नहीं उठा पाते थे. And so they were like, oh, so heavy. It was so heavy. But immediately Madhvacharya takes up like this and he starts moving. So he starts moving, and at one place that Gopi Chandan breaks apart into two pieces, and one piece that fully breaks, and there comes out inside the Gopi Chandan that the chunk of earth, chunk of mitti, soil, Gopi Chandan, the murti of Balramji, and the remaining, another chunk which was broken, from there comes out Lord Sri Krishna, which was worshipped by Rukmini Devi herself, in fact. So this is the Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna. So this was worshipped by Rukmini Devi when Lord Sri Krishna was personally present. So in this way, these two vigrahas were installed in Udupi, and those two vigrahas are still there. And from there, the further preaching of Madhvacharya started. Very vigorous preaching started from there. So the stories goes ahead. There are many more stories as such, but we could have continued, but we'll stop here. Hare Krishna. So today's disappearance of Sripad Madhvacharya. So we like to pray to Sripad Madhvacharya that we could also get, the devotion to our Supreme Personality of Godhead, a clear understanding about Vedic knowledge, so that we could make our life successful, understanding and practicing Sanatana Dharma, and also we could become instrument to help others to understand this essence of Sanatana Dharma, which is actually presented by Srila Prabhupada. All that four acharyas' essence is being presented by Srila Prabhupada in his books, Srila Prabhupada books. So we have the opportunity to read them, associate with the devotees, And in this way, we can please the great acharyas like Madhvacharya. And tomorrow is also disappearance of Sri Pad Ramanujacharya. Okay. So we shall stop here. If you have any comment, question, you can ask. And the Google form link for the quiz is just sent to you. You can proceed ahead. You can click there and you can proceed ahead to answer those questions. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna. So, we'll stop here. How are you all? So, I request all the devotees kindly open up your videos and your audios so that we can have a Hari Bol together. Big Hari Bol. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Okay. So, Sripad Madhva Acharya ki.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, all of you. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai.
Jai.